Hi here, Finns here. I'm back for another video, and today I'm going to review I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Fear 2020. Yes, the first couple of days have happened in the castle, and it's been quite eventful the last couple of days. So yes, I'm going to review the last couple of days of I'm a Celebrity. I have to say, it's been a good start. When I heard the lineup at first, I think this is good, but it doesn't seem as strong as other years. But then when you see them in action, actually, it's pretty good actually this year. I'm really looking forward to this. I didn't know what I was going to expect from this series, but when you see all the 10 in action, actually, yeah, it's seeming like a good series. We're seeing how it's all unfolding now and how it all works in Wales. I have to say, last night the launch show was pretty good. It wasn't as jam packed as other Get Into camps from previous years. There wasn't so many tasks, but it was still quite eventful. The first task they did was an abseiling task, where 5 of them had to abseil while answering questions about other campmates and trying to get their bags down, and the others were just on the floor doing the ropes. So yeah, it was simple, not too complicated, just abseiling down a cliff, which is quite scary in itself. I think the most memorable moment was Jordan, the Radio 1 DJ, vomiting, and we saw the vomit before he actually went down. I don't know if I don't know if we should have seen him vomiting or being sick. Yeah, maybe that should not have been shown. Actually, seeing sick, but he got through it. But yeah. And then after they got to the castle, they, which is their new home. It looked a bit. A lot of people comparing this series to Big Brother. It has got. It's just. It feels weird. They're not in a jungle this year, and not even in like a camp. They're in a castle, which does it does feel a little bit like a studio, like a Big Brother set. But it is an actual castle. They're not in Big Brother. They're not in a studio. They are in an actual castle, and they've done a pretty good job on it. It's a very big, lots of rooms. That's why people are comparing it to Big Brother as well. And then every campmate did the first bush tucker trial. I can't say that right. Which is a good idea, because then we got to see all their personalities in the trial. So I thought that was a good idea, that they all did the first trial as a team, and we saw what they're all like. So yes, they had to get the stars from one place to the other, and they were all in these cells, and they had to get the stars across this line. And some of them had magnets, some of them had to use their fingers, while having like creepy crawlies and insects and everything coming down on them. So it was, yes, again, it wasn't a too complicated trial, but it still worked. It was still not a confusing, a simple yet effective trial. Beverly really struggled trying to get the stars. There was a jam with Beverly. She's really struggled. I think if she had the magnetic thing, maybe she would have done better. She had to use her fingers, and I think it was a bit tricky for her. Yeah, I like when they said, "Oh, they wouldn't throw bugs on us. It's only the first day." I'm like, have you not seen this show before? Like, when like, oh, it's the first day. Like, who cares? You know, who cares? It's just the first day. They're gonna go down any day. But no, they got 7 out of 10, so it was a good start. And then the public voted Jordan and Shane to do the next Bush Tucker trial. I was surprised Beverly wasn't voted for that trial after the trial she did with everyone, but I guess, you know, people saw Jordan throw up. I'm not surprised. Shane also was voted. I guess his personality. He was really had really some good liners from the last couple of shows, really. So those two were up. And then the second day, oh gosh, that trial, the snake trial. So basically Shane and Jordan were both in these two vaults, and they were like buried, and they had to get these stars out by working this combination out, but the number of the combinations was from the other vault. They had numbers, but they're from the different vaults that they had to communicate from each vault while having 30 snakes in each vault. So yes, and oh my gosh, I actually genuinely thought this trial was not going to happen. I really thought we were not going to get a trial tonight. I thought this was like Jen McKeith, Helen Flanagan, Lady C all over again. I really thought, because you know the intro of I'm a Celebrity, and they were not showing the trial, they were showing Jordan really panicking, and I was actually thinking maybe he's not gonna, had a funny feeling he's not gonna do the trial. He just decided not to do the trial. I just had a funny feeling he's decided to quit. I really genuinely thought it wasn't going to happen. I really thought they would have quit the trial. So I was really surprised they actually got into the vaults and got on with it. They actually got on with it, and you know what? Despite all the screaming that was happening, they actually managed to do quite well. It was quite chaos, but they managed to get 9 out of 10. Which I'm really surprised they did really well, despite Jordan almost having like a panic attack while doing that trial, because that poor man was, completely terrified. The screams, the panic, you knew he was not going to enjoy 1 minute of that trial, really. It was just like, oh my goodness, I really thought he was going to call out I'm a Celebrity after like 4 seconds. It's like Helen Flanagan all over again, but actually, he got on with it. He didn't call out the words. And he got on with it. It was such a trial. The drama. Well done for Jordan for going on and not calling out the words. He did it. He got through it, and well done for Shane for helping him. So yes, and now he is now voted for the next trial, along with Beverly and Vernon. So there's 3 people doing the next trial, which they don't really do. We don't usually see a trio at the Bush Tucker trial, but we are, and it's the first eating trial of the series. I'm really happy the eating trial's back, because people were a little bit concerned they weren't going to happen this year. I heard a few people I know that said, oh no, the eating trials are not going to happen this year, no. But they are. They are. They'll probably eat tripe and pigs trotters, and, they'll find foods in Wales to eat. The only thing I have to say about the Bush Tucker trials is I would like to see a bit, I would hopefully, after the eating trial, I would like to see more solo trials, because I felt that last year there was so many trials you had in twos and in groups. I would like to see more people on their own doing the trials, because sometimes when you're doing trials in a team, you get support. I want to see people like Jordan and Beverly do trials on their own without the support, only having Ant and Dec on their side. So it would be interesting to see more of that. But I have to say, the trials so far have been quite simple but effective. Hopefully they're going to get more risky and more creative as the series goes on. So yeah, we've had a lot of drama so far with the trials, which is good. And so far the guy at the camp is, they're getting along. They seem quite nice people. Hopefully that will change. It's only the first few days, and I know if they do struggle, fingers crossed, in the trials that are coming up, maybe tensions will be high and friction will happen, fingers crossed, because we don't want it to be a nice camp. You know, we want some drama and we want some tension really deep down. So yeah, I thought Victoria was going to break down on the first day. It turns out Jordan broke down on the first day instead. So yeah, who knew? But maybe this will help with Jordan, because really people didn't really know who he was unless you listened to Radio 1 and all his stuff on the radio. You probably wouldn't have known him, but now he's had a lot of attention the last couple of days. Maybe this will help in his favour. You know, people are voting for him. I think Shane still could be a contender to be king of the castle. He's quite funny. I think I like Shane. I think Big Mo, has got interesting stories. I think Beverly's going to be interesting in the camp. Vernon, you know, he could be an interesting one. He's also doing the next trial. Can't wait to see him. Who else? Jessica could be an interesting one. I know she misses her daughter. I thought the moon thing was very nice. There are a few campmates, you know, have been a bit quiet. Holly, I'm interested to know a bit more about her. A little bit quiet at the start now, but hopefully as the days go on, I'll get to know her. Giovanni, same like Holly, a bit quiet, but hopefully we'll get to know her. It's as AJ as well, a bit quiet the first couple of days. All I remembered him from the first show is him having a shower naked, which is very brave of him, to do that on the first show. Yeah. You know, if you got it, show it. Yeah, I mean, very brave, to shower naked in front of millions of people, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. Just be worried about a camera behind there. But any case, but hopefully we'll see more of AJ, Holly, and Giovanna, and Victoria as well. I would like to see her being very debatable in the castle, like, because I know she's a journalist, you know. She can ruffle some feathers and stir the pot. But anyway, what do you think of I'm a Celebrity this year? It's seeming like a really interesting series. Comment down below in the comment section below. Like this video if you want. I will be back for more content very soon. Until then, goodbye people, goodbye.